You've decided to use Gutso for your payroll solution. Solid choice, but now you've got to set it up. Thankfully, setting up Gutso can be super straightforward as long as you follow the right steps. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to set up Gutso step by step for your business, what decisions actually matter during the setup process, and the mistakes that you're definitely going to want to avoid that will mess up your payroll and just make your life way more complicated down the line. And keep in mind, all of this comes from my personal experience setting up Gutso across multiple different businesses over the past 5+ years. And one quick side note here, if you haven't yet signed up for Gutso and you want to support the channel, there's a link down in the description below that will get you a $100 Visa gift card just for getting started. This isn't sponsored, but I also get a gift card if you do use that link. Diving right into things, step 1 is to set up your business profile. So once you create your Gutso account, your first job is to enter your business details. You're going to need your legal business name exactly as it appears on your IRS documents. Make sure that if there's, say, an LLC after the name, you include that because it needs to match exactly. You're going to need your employer identification number, or EIN. This is something that you are issued when you set up your business. You'll enter what business type you have, whether it's an LLC, an S Corp, a C Corp. You'll include your official business address as well as the industry that you operate in. And you really just want to make sure that you double check all of this info because any typos or incorrect information here can really slow you down and force you to have to redo things later. And once you've already run payroll, that's just going to be way more complicated. So from there, step 2 is to connect your bank account. So you're going to link your business checking account that you want payroll to be pulled from. What's going to happen next is Gutso is going to send a test deposit to verify your ownership of this bank account. This typically takes 1 to 2 business days, so make sure to do this early and don't wait till the last minute to go through and set everything up. And I'll mention that you can still continue the setup process while your bank is verifying, so don't wait for that to go through before you move on to the next steps. And from there, step 3 is going to be to add your team. So you'll add in all of your different employees or contractors, and you're going to include their full name and contact info, their social security number or tax ID number, their pay rate, and whether they are hourly or salaried, the date you hired them, where they work, their pay schedule. And Gutso also gives your employees a self-onboarding link where they can enter all of this info themselves, which honestly is going to save you a lot of time and make sure that you don't have any errors in the information that you enter. So that's typically going to be the best way to do things. Step 4, and this is the step that most people overlook and is just really annoying, is that you need to register for state payroll tax accounts. So basically, Gutso can't file your state payroll taxes until you're registered with your state's revenue and unemployment departments. And Gutso actually has guides for every single state, and some of them even let Gutso register on your behalf. However, in my situation, I did have to do it manually for the states that I do business in. It's a little bit of a manual process. It takes like 1 to maybe 5 business days, depending on your state. There's a link to the guides in the description below to make it super easy for you to see how exactly to do this in your specific state. Now, once you jump through all the hoops that entails, step 5 is to add any prior payroll history. So if you've already paid employees earlier this year using a different provider or manually, then Gutso needs that data for accurate W-2s and tax filings, right? They need to know exactly how much you paid somebody over the course of the year. And if you didn't do it through Gutso, how are they going to know about that unless you enter it now? Step 6 is to customize your pay schedules, preview your payroll, and explore some of Gutso's hidden perks. So first, you'll set up your pay periods. So you choose how often you pay your team, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, etc. And then you assign each employee or contractor to the appropriate schedule. One quick pro tip here, you can assign different pay schedules to different employee types. So for example, you have salaried employees that get paid bi-weekly or hourly folks that get paid monthly. All of that super easy to customize up front, so you can manage your cash flow easier and reduce any potential payroll errors down the line. Then once you've set those schedules and set everyone's salary, you can use Gutso's preview payroll tool, which allows you to simulate a full payroll run, and it's going to show you the exact paycheck amounts that go out, tax breakdowns, benefit deductions, as well as the employer costs, meaning how much money is actually going to come out of your bank account. You're always going to want to preview, especially when you're setting up for the first time, so that you can catch any discrepancies before finalizing the payroll. There's been a number of times when I've added a new employee, something hasn't quite been set up right, and so going through that preview process just helps me catch that before any money gets sent out. A couple additional tips here in terms of setting up benefits through Gutso. So if you plan to offer, health insurance, 401k plans through Gutso, it's typically advisable to activate those after your first payroll run. And this basically just ensures that you have a smoother setup and avoids any potential complications if that payroll isn't properly set up from the get-go. It just makes it a lot more difficult if you have to go undo benefits related stuff as well as payroll stuff. Next thing you're going to want to do is explore some of Gutso's perks. Gutso actually provides you with discounts on a variety of different services, including accounting software, wellness apps, retirement plans, and these perks can add, a ton of value to your team and are all accessible through your Gutso dashboard and very easy to add to your payroll and HR. I'll also mention the R&D tax credit. So if your business engages in research and development activities, Gutso can actually assist you in identifying and applying for research and development tax credits, which can potentially save your company up to $250,000 annually. By thoughtfully setting up your pay schedules, taking advantage of these features, you're going to ensure a much more efficient and beneficial payroll process for your business and for your team. Now, a couple of common mistakes to avoid when setting up Gutso payroll. Real quick, I see these 3 common mistakes all the time. The first of which is forgetting to verify your bank early. So this is going to delay your first payroll run, might even delay, paychecks being sent out to your employees. So you really want to make sure you do this from the get-go. Next is not registering with those state agencies, which causes failed tax filings. If you are not on record with the state, they can't report to the state properly, and you just need to make sure you do that from the get-go. And then skipping prior payroll data, which really is going to mess up W-2s at the end of the year. So make sure as you are setting up, you have all that previous payroll data up front. Now, if you catch all 3 of these, honestly, Gutso's going to run pretty smoothly, and you probably won't have to worry too much. Now, a couple bonus tips to add on top of that. First of all, Gutso Setup Wizard is awesome. Use that, follow along, go through in order. It's going to make sure you don't miss anything important. Also, enable 2-step approval for your payroll if someone else on your team is running it to make sure that nothing goes out in error. And again, if you're using benefits, set those up after payroll is active, not during the setup process. Now, truly, if you follow these steps, Gutso's going to be fully ready to run your first payroll correctly without needing additional correction forms later, which are super annoying. And for a small and medium-sized business, Gutso is still one of the fastest platforms to get set up, get up and running, especially if you're doing payroll for the very first time, and this isn't something you're super familiar with. If you haven't signed up yet, feel free to use that link below for a $100 Visa gift card and to support the channel as well. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about setting up Gutso. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.